Hello, I'm Peggy O'Neill and welcome to today's Facebook Live. Today we're exploring space between thoughts, and we're going to review the how-tos of doing this exercise, and then you'll have the opportunity to ask any questions either while you're watching the replay. Please post them, and if you're here live now, please post any questions. And just to tell you, I just got through recording this once, so there probably aren't any new people here, but there was static, there were issues with the quality of that video, so I'm redoing it now. So probably anybody watching this is watching it on replay. And please put in hashtag replay, let me know you were here, and any questions that you have, I'll always answer them. So, if we haven't met before, I'm Peggy O'Neill. I'm the founder of this Facebook community, Answering the Call. And what we're doing here is answering that nudge, that nagging feeling that there's something more to life, or there's something missing in my life, or there's something I know I'm here to contribute or do, and I've got to know what that is. So that's what we're doing here. And then we start really by knowing who we truly are, and that's part of the purpose of this exercise today. And the way we go about knowing who we truly are is to unlearn a lot of what we learn. So it's not learning, it's not doing things, it's not developing, it's not getting somewhere, but it's actually unlearning, unconditioning, taking away things that keep us from knowing who we truly are. So we do inquiry, where we look at ourselves. We do exercises like we're doing today, where we experience ourselves, and then some other experiential harmonizing experiences where we are aligning our whole being with who we truly are. There's no other program or community out there that I've been able to find that puts all that together. So we're living our lives that our hearts truly know is possible, and aligning our whole lives with that. And notice I said what our hearts know is possible. I didn't say our minds, because our hearts know, our inner knowing knows. And that's what we're bringing forward with everything that we do here. So this exercise is called Space Between Thoughts. Again, it's an unlearning exercise. What do I mean? We've been conditioned to put a lot of our attention, and most of our attention, on thoughts. To focus on our thoughts, pay attention to our thoughts, notice our thinking. And by doing that, we keep conditioning ourselves to do just that, focus on thinking. However, our thinking just comes to us. It contains the beliefs that we have about ourselves and the world. And some of them may be great and support us. Some of them, most of them, probably aren't. Like, I'm not good enough, or I don't know how, or I should do this differently, I should do this better, I didn't do this right. All of that, we can free ourselves. That's like a cage. We're caged in by these beliefs and these thoughts, which are, they're just made up, and they come to us. Yes, we've been conditioned to believe they're not made up, and then there's lots of evidence for them. That's another belief. Instead of noticing that we don't have to listen to those beliefs and be free of those, and then we can live aligned with who we truly are, know who we truly are, freed up to live this incredible expression that's possible for us, this infinite expression that's possible for us. So this exercise also opens up our mind to non-linear intuitive awareness. We tend to think things happen in linear ways, so we live our lives that way. Set a goal and go get there. That's all linear. And yet, the universe is expanding and is non-linear. I mean, things can come from any direction. Things can happen from any direction. So we're also freeing ourselves up to know that, to expect that, to live that way, and to, again, remove our focus from this linear concept of our lives. So while we're together right now, I invite you to give yourself permission to realize, well, I don't have to do anything right now except just be here. We're going to be together for about 10 minutes doing this particular exercise. And we're going to sit with your feet on the floor. And in a moment, I'll invite you to close your eyes. You might want to put your hands on your lap. And what you're going to look for is a space between thoughts. Now, if this is fairly new to you, that you haven't really looked or noticed your thoughts before, then you might not even realize that you've got this running commentary of thoughts going on. So we're going to pause for a few seconds here and give you the opportunity to notice your thoughts. It's like a voice in our head. That's how we talk about it. It's a voice in my head. So I'm going to pause for a few seconds for you to notice that. And you might notice that the voice is saying, what little voice? I don't have a voice. I don't know what she's talking about. So that's what I mean by that voice. And we're just automatically drawn to that. We pay attention to that without really realizing it, because it's just become part of how we normally live. And so what we're going to do is look for the space. We're not even going to look for it. We're just going to put our focus on the space between thoughts, and you will notice it. So, another way to think about it is this, that if you're reading a book, there's space between thoughts on the words on the page. And most of the time we don't notice the page that's holding the words. Or in this case we're talking about thoughts. It's the background, the container of all of our experience is that quiet, still space between thoughts. We don't even recognize it because we're so focused on the content, the thoughts, just like when we read a book. We're focused on the words, the content, instead of the paper that allows the words to be there. So we're focusing on the space that allows the thoughts, the emotions, the activities, everything else in our lives to be there. And you might notice this is challenging, so that's okay. That's okay. You can't do this wrong. It can be challenging. You will probably notice thoughts arising. Just remove your focus from them once you realize you're focused on them. And so again, you can't do this wrong. You can't be bad at it. You can't even be good at it. Well, because it's just a matter of putting your attention on the space. So if you're ready now, I encourage you to close your eyes, unless of course you're driving, listening to this. Close your eyes. And if you don't want to close your eyes, focus on a spot on the wall or on the floor 6 to 8 feet in front of you, and soften the muscles. Relax the muscles around your eyes. And allow yourself to notice the space between thoughts. And focus there for a few minutes. You may immediately notice thoughts returning. That's normal. Whenever you find yourself thinking, just return to this space and ignore any thoughts. We cannot stop thoughts because they're automatic. Just like the liver produces bile, our mind produces thoughts. We cannot stop them. They're automatic. However, we can remove our attention from them, and the more we do so, they diminish in our experience. They go to the side. We can get to a place where we hardly even notice them. So we're opening to the stillness that we are, and in this space, that's where incredible ideas and possibilities can arise that we didn't notice before, or that weren't there before, because we were so focused on our conditioned thoughts. So I'll be quiet now and just notice the space between thoughts for about 10 minutes. I will keep the time and invite you to open your eyes at the end of the 10 minutes. slowly and gently open your eyes. So initially we can find this challenging, and that's fine. It's fine. You've gotten started. Or if you've done it quite a few times, just another time where we have experienced the spaciousness and the peace that we are. This is the place that we can live a different, more peaceful, more loving, more fulfilling life. So the more that you return to doing this, then the more that spaciousness expands, and we pay less and less attention to the thoughts, and they dissolve, they go to the side. We eventually hardly notice them, because our attention is where we truly are, in the open space, awareness, source. Again, you can't do this wrong. You just start. Start with maybe 5 to 10 minutes at a time. It's good to get up to an hour if you can do that. If you can't, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Set a timer and do it off and on, once a day. Now, I encourage you not to really do it like a practice. We can always hear this like, okay, gotta put it in my schedule, do it at the time. And that tends to imply that we're trying to get somewhere. We've got to do something to get to somewhere. So I encourage you to let this, to do it when it feels right for you. Or you may, for the first couple of days, go ahead and do it sort of like, okay, I'm going to make sure I do it today. And then over time, probably, you're just going to feel naturally called to do it. Because for me, I just want to experience this rich, deep experience. I want that to be the foundation of how I live and experience life. So and of course, that's happening more and more regularly. And everything I said here is in my experiencing happening exactly as I said it. Where in my experience, so I say experiencing, in my experience, more and more just like I said it, where that is my go-to, my default, is this open, allowing space. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. And thank you for being here today. I'll see you next week.